Good evening. You're watching The Nation at 5 from here in CNN News 18. It's a Monday evening. Thank you for joining us here. Now, over the next hour, we're going to walk you through what the top stories are across the country. My name is Toya Singh. Let's take a look at the first story we have playing out. The BJP, led by their leader Manjinder Singh Sirsa in Delhi, is making a claim. This is a claim that, before I go ahead and elaborate, has also been made by the head of the Delhi Sikh Gurudwara Management Committee president. He has made the same claim. They've both said that the Kartarpur Sahib in Pakistan has been the site of some crossing of Sikh norms. They're arguing that an event took place there, that event had music, that it had meat, both were served. They're saying that the fact that that took place is in itself a violation of norms of the Gurudwara. Now, why this story is important is because this, according to them, is one among many such incidents that have taken place in the last few years. The Gurudwara committee has recently come under new management that they are also criticizing. We'll take a deeper dive at this story in just a second. First, let me just very quickly play out for you what it is that the BJP leader had to say.
करतारपुर गुरुद्वारा साहब की जो ये वीडियो सामने आई, इस कॉम्प्लेक्स के अंदर जो वहाँ के सीईओ हैं इस बोर्ड के, वहाँ के डिप्टी कमिश्नर, वहाँ के डीएसपी पुलिस, इन सब लोगों ने वहाँ पे पार्टी की। कॉम्प्लेक्स के अंदर शराब चलाई, मीट मुर्गा चलाया, नाच गान कराया। इतना घिनौना काम, इतना बड़ा पाप, और वो भी गुरु नानक देव पातशाह जी के इस गुरुद्वारा, पवित्र गुरुद्वारा करतारपुर साहब में। शर्म से हम सबका सिर झुकता है। इतना बड़ा पाप किया है इन लोगों ने, और कोई सरकार वहां पे कार्रवाई करने को तैयार नहीं।
Okay, let's go over to my colleague Siddhant to understand more. Siddhant, as we were telling our audiences, this is an allegation made not just by the BJP's Manjinder Singh Sirsa, who we just played out for our audiences, but also by the head of the Delhi Sikh Gurudwara Management Committee. Can you tell our audiences, question one, when did this incident take place, and how many of the details that Sirsa is alleging actually took place? What can we confirm to our audiences?
Well, yes, that's right. So this allegation has been made by Mr. Sirsa Toya, and he has to say that Sikh leaders from Kartarpur corridor, those who were upset with such kind of party taking place inside the corridor premises, have sent this video to him. And Mr. Sirsa has made this accusation that there were free liquor and non-veg food which was distributed inside the corridor premises. In fact, he has also provided few videos where one can see people dancing and enjoying to music. And in fact, Mr. Sirsa also alleged that local bureaucrats of the government of Pakistan also participated. Now, the clarification has in fact come from those who are in the administration of Kartarpur corridor, and perhaps they have to say that this particular event was organized 2 kilometers away from Kartarpur. It did not happen within the premises. This is at least what they have to say. But they have not provided any evidence or perhaps some sort of a proof to substantiate the claims that they are making that this particular event happened 2 kilometers away from Kartarpur corridor. Now, Sikh groups, many Sikh groups are not liking the way the government of Pakistan is running Kartarpur.
Okay, we've lost that connection with my colleague. We'll re-establish it in just a second. My colleague Siddhant telling us about an incident that allegedly took place in Kartarpur Sahib within Pakistan. Remember, the allegation from Manjinder Singh Sirsa of the BJP is that an event took place there, that there was dancing at that event, and that meat and liquor were also served. Now, it's important to point out the defense that has come in from those that manage the entire premises is A, it didn't take place on the premises. Their argument is it took place, in fact, more than a kilometer away from the premises. The other allegation, that there was music that was played there, that there was non-vegetarian food. When it comes to the music, they've alleged that the performer was actually a performer who had performed in India too, that she was not a controversial performer. These have been the two rebuttals that have come forward. But remember, this is a long-standing complaint, as we've just highlighted, of the BJP's Manjinder Singh Sirsa. In the past too, he's complained that the way in which the entire Gurudwara is being managed is faulty. Now, we'll bring you more context on what the previous controversies that have played out here have looked like. like on the left side of your screens, we're bringing you alleged visuals of the event, and on the right side, the BJP's Manjinder Singh Sirsa, who is saying that action needs to be taken by Pakistan. Now, I do want to highlight for you, the Gurudwara is, as we speak, actually reporting higher than usual levels of visits that they have coming into the on the grounds. We'll bring you more about the silver lining there, but first let's play out for you what it is that Sirsa said. Once again, take a look.
करतारपुर गुरुद्वारा साहब की जो ये वीडियो सामने आई, इस कॉम्प्लेक्स के अंदर जो वहाँ के सीईओ हैं इस बोर्ड के, वहाँ के डिप्टी कमिश्नर, वहाँ के डीएसपी पुलिस, इन सब लोगों ने वहाँ पे पार्टी की, कॉम्प्लेक्स के अंदर शराब चलाई, मीट मुर्गा चलाया, नाच गान कराया। इतना घिनौना काम, इतना बड़ा पाप, और वो भी गुरु नानक देव पातशाह जी के इस गुरुद्वारा, पवित्र गुरुद्वारा करतारपुर साहब में। शर्म से हम सबका सिर झुकता है, इतना बड़ा पाप किया है इन लोगों ने, और कोई सरकार वहां पे कार्रवाई करने को तैयार नहीं।
Okay, let's go back to my colleague Siddhant, who we have been able to reconnect with right now. Siddhant, can you tell our audiences, one of the things that Manjinder Singh Sirsa has done is he's also pointed a finger at the man who's now running the Gurudwara committee, saying that there's new management that has partly led to these issues. Can you bring us context there, please?
So yeah, as I was pointing out, that there are a couple of issues which not just Mr. Sirsa but other Sikh groups worldwide also have with the way Pakistan is running the Kartarpur corridor. In terms of, in fact, Toya, a few days back there was an announcement of fee hike by $5. In fact, that particular step was also criticized by saying that the extra money is being charged from the pilgrims. Then there is also criticism that a non-Sikh has been appointed as a CEO of the Kartarpur corridor, so he doesn't understand the sensitivity and perhaps the religious practices. So Kartarpur corridor has largely been in controversies for various reasons. But the way Pakistan is running it, and the way these videos are coming out, and the non-Sikh being appointed as a CEO, then the raise in a fee by $5. All these recent incidents have perhaps shaken the confidence of people as far as the administration that the government of Pakistan is providing in Kartarpur corridor, and that is perhaps the major issue, which in fact Mr. Sirsa has also highlighted in his tweet, that with each passing day it has become a money minting project for Pakistan, where they are hiking fees, they are running the show the way they want to run it. They are partying, they are serving alcohol and non-veg food openly inside the corridor premises. So yes, these are some serious issues which not just Mr. Sirsa but many Sikh organizations have been highlighting.
Okay, Siddhant, just stay with us. Let me walk our audiences very quickly through some data here. Okay, when the numbers first began to be counted, so we're talking about 2019 to 2020, the numbers, when it comes to the visitors that were visiting here, you had about 62,000 people. That number actually fell in the year after, down to 30,000. That number, as we speak, is seeing a slight uptick. It's back to 50,000. Let's take a look very quickly at the brunt of what the BJP is arguing today. This is actually a story we broke earlier today, and I want to bring you the heart of their allegations. Number one, they've said, as we've told you already, that a sacrilegious incident took place on the premises of the Kartarpur Gurudwara. Here it's important to point out the defense by the committee is that it didn't take place on the premises. It took place about 1 kilometer away from them. Number two, alcohol and meat was served within the sacred premises. That's the allegation that the BJP, led by Mr. Sirsa, is making. Number three, they're saying that the administration was aware of the incident and be very much involved with the conducting of the incident during the actual incident in the evening. And we'll just move on to the next point. They've said that the Pakistan government must act. It essentially needs to take action either by firing, either by having a larger survey, a discussion into what actually took place, but action needs to take place. They're saying that the faith of minorities must not be undermined with this. Now, we're going to play out more reactions on this story, then we'll connect with the reporter for more.
पहली बात तो ये जितनी भी खबर आ रही है ये सोर्सेज के थ्रू आ रही है, सूत्रों के आधार पे। जहाँ तक हमने बात की है, हमारे ऑफिस से बात हुई है पाकिस्तान के जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर हैं करतारपुर साहब के, सैफुल्ला खोकर साहब से, उन्होंने ये बात को बिल्कुल खंडन किया कि ये जो पार्टी हुई है ये गुरुद्वारा साहब से तकरीबन 1.5 किलोमीटर दूरी पे हुई है। देखो ये कंट्रोवर्सी होनी जायज़ इस करके है क्योंकि जिस वक्त यहाँ पर जो पहले एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर लगाए गए थे पिछले समय के ऊपर, उसी वक्त जो PMU के हेड बनाए गए थे, जो प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट यूनिट है इनका, उनके हेड जो बनाए थे, उसी वक्त कंट्रोवर्सी हुई थी इस बात के ऊपर।
Okay, our next story, particularly important one, we continue to cover, to track the situation as we speak in Uttarkashi, where 41 workers remain trapped within a tunnel that collapsed on Sunday morning itself. This is the last Sunday. It's been 9 days since the tunnel collapsed. Remember, at 5:30 in the morning, when these 41 workers were completing their 12-hour shift. Now, as we speak, over the last week, there have been multiple attempts to rescue the workers. There have been two key problems. Number one, debris that keeps falling as the digging efforts keep taking place. And number two, boulders and stubborn attachments that remain within the debris. These make it difficult for the machines. For example, the drilling machines that have been brought in, we're talking about, for example, the American auger machine, it makes it difficult for them to continue their drilling process. Now, as we reported to you, the biggest development that we brought you over the last 24 hours was that once again, the drilling machine was failing. Now there is a 5-point plan that has been put into action. We'll take a deeper dive into what that plan is in just a second. But the biggest highlight, one that we brought you as of just a few minutes ago, is that as we speak, a larger pipeline has been established. That pipeline will allow for more food to be given to the workers. It will also allow for a small drone camera to be able to capture them for the first time. We're going to take a deeper dive into what this will mean in just a second. First though, take a look. These are reactions to the story. We're starting with Union Minister Nitin Gadkari. Take a look.
इस आपत्ति का मुकाबला हम सब लोग सब प्रकार के प्रयासों से कर रहे हैं। जो अंदर में जो लोग बैठे हुए हैं, जो अटके हुए हैं, उनके प्रति भारत सरकार को, उत्तराखंड की सरकार को और देश की जनता को उनकी सबकी बहुत चिंता है और हमारी सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता है कि किसी भी प्रकार से उनकी जान बचाए, उनको बाहर निकाले। भारत सरकार की अलग अलग एजेंसीज है जिनको जिम्मेदारी दी गई है, टीमों से भी विशेष रूप से यहाँ ध्यान दिया जा रहा है।
Okay, we were touching right now on some of the key reasons that have made the operation over the last 9 days so difficult. Multiple failed attempts, as we've told you. Let's take a look at what's making it so difficult. Reason number one, this is a reason we actually discussed with you. This is the biggest issue. Falling debris that increases in build-up. So as we said earlier, the more you dig, the more debris falls. What to do with that debris? That has been the key question for engineers right now who are trying to figure out this situation. Number two, this is the second key issue, as we told you. The machines keep breaking down. There are boulders that are present, for example, within that debris. The American auger machine that was brought in, it's a drilling machine that was brought in from Delhi. This is the issue that happened with it. And this is also the same issue that happened to the machine right before it. Now, the time that it's taking to transport these machines, because as we told you, the parts are brought in, they're then assembled. That assembly takes further time. It's only then that they can be pressed into purpose. That is also one of the key issues, as we said. Now, as we've already discussed, this is one of the starting issues even to the construction. This entire region has very soft rock. It's rock that environmentalists warn would lead to problems in any construction efforts. This rock is now proving to be particularly troublesome during this process, and as we said, drilling through those rocks remains an obstacle. So as we speak, a vertical tunnel is also being drilled through. But the key question there too is the fear of caving in that might take place. Now, these are, as we've just pointed out to you, the 5 key obstacles. My colleague Anshul is with us right now. He's been with us on the ground in Uttarkashi for the last 9 days. Let's go over to him to understand more. Anshul, if you could tell us the big update that we brought our audiences as of a few minutes ago was that the pipe that you actually told us about in the morning, the hope is that this pipe can be used to transport food, more than chana and the smaller foods that have been transported so far. Now larger foods can be transported, and as you told us earlier, a mini drone camera will also be put in through there. You'll have your first visuals of workers, perhaps even communication, because you pointed out how weak current communication lines are. All of that can now happen. Is that correct, Anshul? Is that a correct summary of what this next step means?
The rescue operations to take out the workers who are stuck inside the Silkyara tunnel for the last 9 days is ongoing. In fact, it has now been converted into a war footing. Currently, I am standing at a place where you can see these machines that have been brought in. These machines, as we have been reporting since morning, that will be used for vertical drilling. Now remember, it at least need to dig through 90 meters of the mountain to reach anywhere close to the place where these people are stuck. You can look how large is this machine, and hence this machine at this point in time has been put on standby. Why on standby? Because you can imagine that this trolley needs to actually go to the top of the mountain from where the vertical drilling will happen. And how will this trolley reach there? Through the roads that is being made, through the temporary roads that is being made at this point in time by the Border Roads Organization. In the next few hours, we are expecting that the entire road would be built. Post that, this trolley will reach over there. There are some more equipments that have been brought in, which equipments would eventually be actually used to fit into this machine, and post that the entire drilling operation would happen. If I could show you in the visuals over here, these are the kind of machines, heavy duty machines that have now been brought in to dig through the terrain of the Himalayas. We have seen how difficult it is to operate in Himalayas, and these are the machines that will be used to vertically dig through the tunnel and initially put a lifeline pipe which will be approximately of 8 inches, and then it will be used to put the evacuation pipe, that and through that it is expected that all these people who are stuck inside will be excavated. How successful will this plan be? That is still a big question mark. But yes, one thing is for sure, that the government and the rescuers are now leaving no stone unturned to make sure that all these people who are stuck inside the Silkyara tunnel for the last 9 days and counting now, they could be taken out at the earliest.
An update we actually brought you a few minutes ago. Let's bring you more details on this. As we told you right now, just a few minutes ago, the first good news you have emitting out of the situation of the last 9 days, a lifeline pipe has finally been drilled through. This is a silver lining. What does this mean? What this means essentially is you'll be able to transport larger amounts of food. So till now, as we've been telling you, packets of chana, murmur, all of that has been given to the workers on the ground. Now you can potentially give larger amounts. A and B, you will finally be able to get our first set of visuals. The hope is that a mini drone will also be transported through this pipe. But to confirm exactly what will happen now, my colleague Anshul, who's with us right now. Anshul, this is a 57-meter long pipe, as we're telling our audiences, a pipeline rather. Just tell our audiences, earlier you were saying this will mean larger amounts of food. It will finally mean the first visuals. Is this correct? Is this the correct summary of what this pipeline could mean for this mission?
So yes, Toya, you explained it. You explained it to the T, and this is the lifeline pipe. And as the name suggests, that this pipe will give a glimmer of hope. In fact, will motivate the people who are stuck inside, because this is for the first time that the rescuers have been able to get through the debris over the last 9 days, and this can easily be said as the first big development for the, in fact, the first good news that has come out from the Silkyara tunnel over the last 9 days. Now, what will this pipe be used for? As we have been mentioning, that this pipe will be used for sending in solid food. Finally, after 9 days, the workers will start getting solid food. Apart from solid food, this pipeline would also be used to send in a camera through which visuals would be established between the rescue workers and the people who are stuck inside. Yet again, building the confidence amongst the people who are stuck inside that yes, the government, the administration, the rescuers, in fact the entire machinery is working in tandem 24/7 to get them out, and they do not need to panic inside. And the third thing that this will do is it will establish an optical fiber connection through which communication will become permanent. Because remember, till now the kind of communication that has been happening between the workers and the rescuers, that communication was happening through the air pipe, and that communication was very, very hollow. However, in every half an hour, the communication was happening. But yes, if any untoward incident happened on that pipe, then the entire communication channel would have been blocked. Now, this first success that has come up will definitely motivate the workers on the ground to go ahead with full strength for the drilling operation as well. Now, what is expected in the next few hours? It is expected that the American auger machine that was put on hold for at least 42 to 60 hours, that will again start working now, and that is the quickest way through which the rescuers can actually go ahead and reach to the end of the debris and make sure that all these people who are stuck inside, they can be brought out. So yes, this is being seen as a big success, and the next few hours are also going to be very, very crucial. If at all the American auger machine restarts drilling from 22 meters that it has already dug through, it will eventually mean that over the next 36 to 48 hours. If the terrain of the debris allows it in the next 36 to 48 hours, we are expecting that the first person will come out. But yes, all of that depends on the terrain that is inside the debris, because remember, at least 22 meters of pipe was dug in just 24 hours by the rescuers. So if they go at that speed as well, then they could very quickly reach to the place where these workers are. And now something that to give them confidence and to make sure that the health of the people inside the tunnel remains good. They have finally gone ahead and they will finally go ahead and start giving food to them, solid food to them, which would eventually mean that their health will improve. Because remember, over the last 9 days, as you mentioned, they have been surviving on light to very light food without any nutrients, and finally some solid food could be given to them.
Anshul, we're going to keep checking in with you on this situation, especially to understand more in terms of progress when it comes to the vertical drilling that's taking place. But thank you for bringing this, a brief silver lining in this story. We'll continue to bring you updates. Let's move right now. We've got different news coming in right now from Uttar Pradesh. Let's take a look. We told you a little while earlier today of the Yogi Adityanath-led BJP government's plans in Uttar Pradesh. This was a set of plans that were first announced 2 days ago that were put into action over the last 24 hours, with the UP government formally banning the certifying of all halal products. As we speak, that crackdown has begun. An FSDA team has arrived. They've just raided, I believe, the Sahara Mall. The team has arrived to check, as you can see, the halal products. Halal certified products are being checked in the smart market of Sahara Mall. My colleague Amit Singh is with us right now to bring us more details. Amit जी, हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए धन्यवाद. अमित जी, इस कहानी पे बहुत कंफ्यूजन रही है सुबह से. पहले आप क्लैरिफाई कीजिए सर, सरकार की तरफ से क्या कहना था, फिर बताइए सर इन विजुअल्स में हम क्या देख रहे हैं.
देखिए, सरकार की तरफ से साफ साफ ये कहना है कि हलाल सर्टिफिकेशन, जो फर्जी हलाल सर्टिफिकेशन जो एनजीओ और कई कंपनियां जो दे देती हैं, वो नहीं होना चाहिए. हलाल सर्टिफिकेशन के साथ मार्केट में डेयरी प्रोडक्ट, कपड़ा और वो जो तमाम प्रोडक्ट्स हैं वो नहीं बिकना चाहिए, क्योंकि हलाल का जो हॉलमार्क होता है, हलाल का जो मार्किंग होती है, वो कोई कंपनियां इस तरीके से फर्जी तरीके से नहीं डाल सकती हैं. और इसी को लेकर एफएसडीए की टीम जो है इस वक्त लखनऊ के सहारा मॉल में रेड कर रही है और सभी प्रोडक्ट को जांच करते हुए कि किस पर हलाल का मार्किंग है और किस पर हलाल का मार्किंग नहीं है. तो सरकार इसके सख्त खिलाफ है. जाहिर तौर पर इसी वजह से कई कंपनियों को मैनेजमेंट के खिलाफ हजरतगंज थाने में मुकदमा दर्ज हुआ है. इन्वेस्टिगेशन लगातार उस पर जारी है और आने वाले दिनों में या आने वाले कुछ घंटों में हो सकता है कि ये मामला एसटीएफ को ट्रांसफर हो जाए. जी.
Okay, we'll double click on this story in just a little while to understand more. This affects more than half of the state's population. We'll check in to understand more. It's time for a short break. On the other side, we have more of the country's top stories. This is The Nation at 5.
From here.
So yes, the rescue operations have finally resumed. In fact, I'll just try and move out of the frame and try and show you the visuals on the ground that the American auger machine, which was present over here for the last 2 days, that has finally been taken in, and that assembly process is ongoing at this point in time. Also, 39 meters of food lifeline pipe has been drilled through the debris, and only approximately 20 meters of length is left, before which we can expect that that finally solid food can be given to all the people who are present over here. Also, the border road organization that has been roped in has actually made the road all over to the top of this tunnel, from where the vertical drilling will start in just 24 hours. And from today, we expect that the vertical drilling process will also start, as heavy machineries have started to reach here from Dehradun and other parts of the country as well. Not only this, but from the right and the left hand side, the horizontal drilling process has also started. But remember, it is a very, very long haul to drill through any of these routes, because vertically it actually needs to be drilled through at least 90 meters, whereas horizontally from the left hand side the length is actually 170 meters, and from the right hand side the length is more than 200 meters. So the easiest way through which the rescuers can reach the people who are stranded inside is the visuals that you are seeing on your screens right now. This is the easiest way through which they can get in, which is actually drilling through the debris that has gathered over here and through the American auger machine. Now remember, there were technical snags that had developed in that machine. Also, the kind of vibrations that machine was giving, that meant that the entire structure inside the tunnel was also shaking and more debris was falling down. So the structuring of the tunnel is being done. If I could show you in the visuals, these blocks, these cement blocks that you are seeing on your screens right now, these blocks have specially been called in and they are being put into structure right above the pipe, so that the debris that might fall, that shouldn't fall on the pipe or on the workers who are working in this rescue operation, because the focus of the rescuers is not only to save the people who are trapped inside, but also to make sure that a safety environment is made for people who are working relentlessly in this rescue operation. But remember, it has been more than 9 days now. Today is the 9th day and counting hours that we are seeing that this rescue operation is continuously going on. Still, these people has had no access to any sort of solid food, and hence these pipes that are being dug in, these pipes are going to be are being called lifeline pipes, because through these pipes not only solid food that will be provided to them, but also the micro drone that has been called in from the DRDO, that would also go in from the same pipe, which would eventually mean that the first visual contact will be made with all the 40 workers who are stuck inside, and also optical fiber cables would also be drilled in through the same pipe as well. So it will eventually mean that better communication is also established, because remember, it is a very, very long haul. The machine, the American auger machine, even if it's worked to its full strength from today, that is 8 a.m. in the morning, then also it is going to take at least 24 to 36 hours for the drilling machine to get back over here. But yes, when will that machine start? That is still a big question mark, and hence we are seeing these arrangements that are being made just to make sure that the people who are inside, they are provided with food so that they can survive for a longer time.
Well, 41 workers are still trapped even after 9 days in the Uttarkashi tunnel, and drilling to prepare an escape passage for the 41 workers who are trapped there at the moment at the Silkyara tunnel collapse site for a week remained suspended. Now, the larger diameter pipes have been inserted through the debris to provide food and other essentials to the trapped workers. Union Minister Nitin Gadkari reviewed the rescue operations at the site and said that whatever is required to save the 41 trapped workers will be done, and keeping the morale of the workers and their family members high should be everyone's collective responsibility and priority right now. Well, 5-option action plan will also be adopted to rescue the trapped workers, is what we are gathering from. And it's a coordinated operation that's been taking place between all the agencies that have gathered there. And what we've been consistently seeing is there have been several measures that have been taken, several kinds of machines have been brought in. The major one that was brought in was the American auger that was trying to drill in another pathway through the tunnel to bring out the 41 trapped workers in there. But there have been, given the kind of place this tunnel is situated in, that is the geographical location of this tunnel has indeed been has made it quite difficult for the agencies to maneuver in that area and to make sure that further debris don't fall on that particular area, so that they don't block the pathway further. Because right now, remember that the people who are stuck there, the 41 workers who are stuck there, they're constantly being taken care of. With this pipeline that has been established, which was initially just a pipeline for water, but then eventually it was used as one that would give them oxygen supply as well, food stuff as well. And the Chief Minister has constantly been trying to keep the morale of the family members of those trapped workers high. He was heard saying yesterday as well that that is one of the most biggest responsibilities right now, that the workers who are stuck there as well as their family members who are outside, they should constantly feel that we are indeed taking every step at this particular moment that is possible. And you can see that in one of the windows that we are showing you, Nitin Gadkari was also there to review the rescue operations that have taken place. Now remember, if we talk about the incident itself, the Silkyara tunnel, at least the 41 workers were trapped inside this partially collapsed Silkyara tunnel in the Uttarkashi district. This collapse took place on 12th of November. Now the US-made auger machine that I was just mentioning a little while back had been deployed to drill and push in the pipes to save
of the developed snag, thereby halting the rescue process. But what has now happened is the rescue process had been suspended for a few days given the kind of situation that was prevailing in the area, given the kind of
Welcome back. You're watching The Nation at 5 right here on CNN News 18. We continue to bring you updates from the situation unfolding in Uttar Pradesh, where as we speak, the Uttar Pradesh government is conducting inspections. These inspections, the visuals we're about to show you, are taking place in a mall. Now, you might remember, as of a few days ago, the Uttar Pradesh government has announced that they're going to be banning the distribution of any products that have been certified halal by organizations that they say are not justified or authorized in doing so. Now, in just a second from now, we're going to be connecting with reporter to understand more about this entire story. But first, as we play those visuals for you on your screen, take a look at different reactions.
देखिए, भारतीय जनता पार्टी को हिंदू मुस्लिम करने का मौका मिल गया है हलाल प्रोडक्ट पे। अब उसको इससे मतलब नहीं कि उत्तर प्रदेश की अर्थव्यवस्था वो खराब होगी। किस तरीके से हलाल प्रोडक्ट के आयात पे निर्यात रोक लगाई है, निर्यात पे रोक नहीं लगाई है, वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी की दोहरी मानसिकता को दिखाता है। दिल्ली और लखनऊ के इंजन आपस में टकरा रहे हैं। जो फैसला केंद्र की सरकार को लेना चाहिए था, वो उत्तर प्रदेश की सरकार ले रही है। अगर हलाल प्रोडक्ट से दिक्कत भारतीय जनता पार्टी को इतनी है, तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी की केंद्र की सरकार को, राज्य की सरकार को, डबल इंजन की सरकार को पूरे देश में हलाल प्रोडक्ट के आयात और निर्यात पे प्रतिबंध लगाना चाहिए।
Okay, we continue to bring you more details within this same story. But listen, as we've been telling you over the last few days, this is the Uttar Pradesh government's announcement. They've announced as of a few days ago that all halal certified products that they said were not certified in manners in which are legal, those would be banned. Now, it is important to clarify here that some confusion remains over exactly what is counted as a proper or improper method of properly authorizing what is halal and what isn't. We're going to bring you more depth on this story. Right now, let's play out more reactions for you.
So what's the plan? Tell me.
कि खाद्य पदार्थों पर, कपड़ों पर हलाल सर्टिफिकेट किया जा रहा है। ये हलाल सर्टिफिकेट करना पूरी तरह से धोखेबाजी है। ये सांप्रदायिक सद्भाव को बिगाड़ने की एक चेष्टा हो सकती है। और इसकी जब शिकायतें मिल रही थी, तो उत्तर प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ जी ने इसका संज्ञान लिया है और संज्ञान लेकर के एक एफआईआर दर्ज कराई है। एफआईआर के आधार पर इसकी जांच होगी कि कौन लोग हैं और किस मंशा के साथ ये हलाल सर्टिफिकेट देने का प्रयास कर रहे थे। क्या इसके पीछे किसी प्रकार का सांप्रदायिक विभाजन उत्पन्न करना है, क्या लोगों की भावनाएं भड़काने का प्रयास है, ये सारी बातें जांच में आएंगी और जांच के आधार पर जो लोग दोषी निकल करके आएंगे उनके खिलाफ ठोस और कठोर कार्रवाई होगी, क्योंकि किसी को भी ये इजाजत नहीं दी जा सकती है कि किसी की धार्मिक भावनाओं को भड़काने की कोई चेष्टा करे।
देखिए, ऐसा है, ये योगी सरकार का काम है। कैसे बंटवारा हो, कैसे आपस में लोगों के मतभेद हो, ये इनका काम है।
जो हलाल सर्टिफाइड फूड्स हैं उस पर बैन लगाया योगी आदित्यनाथ सरकार ने, आपको क्या लगता है इस पर?
बीजेपी को संवैधानिक व्यवस्था का कभी महत्व नहीं रहा है। संवैधानिक व्यवस्था का विरोध हमेशा करते करते ही बीजेपी झूठे लोगों को ख्वाब दिखाकर सत्ता में आई है। हमारा संविधान एकदम स्पष्ट कहता है कि देश में जितने भी धर्म और जाति के लोग हैं, सबको अपने अपने धर्म पे प्यार करने का अधिकार है। लेकिन उत्तर प्रदेश की सरकार इस तरह का अगर बयान लाती है तो ये इस बात को कोई सहमति नहीं देगा, क्योंकि संवैधानिक व्यवस्था हमारे पद से भी बड़ी होती है। संविधान हमारे लिए सबसे बड़ा होता है और जो उत्तर प्रदेश की सरकार कर रही है किसी धर्म को टारगेट करती होगी, तो ये बात हिंदू हो या मुसलमान हो, किसी धर्म के ऊपर किसी को भी टारगेट करने का अधिकार नहीं है। और कांग्रेस इस तरह अगर यूपी की सरकार ये बैन लगाना चाहती है तो कांग्रेस इसका विरोध करेगी।
Okay, more details on this story. What has the Uttar Pradesh government given as their reason? Their argument is that the certification system that exists within Uttar Pradesh, you have one authorized set of certifications and other less authorized, less organized systems that have come up over the last few years. Those are systems that, according to the Uttar Pradesh government, will certify everything from tea to cloth as halal certified. It's against those that the Uttar Pradesh government is saying they want to take action. But very valid questions that have been raised against this. Number one, the Samajwadi Party leaders. All right, we'll go over to Amit Singh, who's with us right now, to bring us more clarity on this story. Amit जी, हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए धन्यवाद. Amit जी, हम आपसे ये पहले पूछ सकते हैं, क्या क्या बैन हुआ है सर, क्या क्या नहीं बैन हुआ है अभी तक?
देखिए, जो बैन है डेयरी प्रोडक्ट्स, उस पर आप हलाल की मार्किंग नहीं कर सकते हैं. डेयरी प्रोडक्ट के अलावा जो कपड़ा है, कपड़े पर हलाल की आप मार्किंग नहीं कर सकते हैं. चीनी, नमकीन, मसाले, साबुन, ये वो चीज है जो रोज के इस्तेमाल में होती है और ये हलाल सर्टिफाइड नहीं हो सकती है. और खास तौर से कुछ कंपनियां जो हैं इनको हलाल सर्टिफाइड करके बेच रही थी. और इन अभी जो कार्रवाई हो रही है सरकार के मुताबिक या प्रशासन के मुताबिक, इन कंपनियों को हलाल सर्टिफाइड करके ये मार्केट में बेच भी नहीं सकती. और यही वजह है कि FSDA जो है इस वक्त रेड कर रहा है, सभी मॉलों में रेड कर रहा है. सहारा मॉल का विजुअल हमने अपने दर्शकों को दिखाया कि किस तरीके से वहां जाकर सब कुछ चेक किया जा रहा है कि हलाल मार्किंग उस पर ना हो. और जो कंपनियां हलाल मार्किंग, हलाल सर्टिफाइड करके इन सब प्रोडक्ट्स को बेच रही हैं, खासतौर से डेली इस्तेमाल वाला डेयरी, कपड़ा, चीनी, नमकीन, मसाले, साबुन, और इनके खिलाफ मुकदमा दर्ज हो चुका है, FIR रजिस्टर हो चुका है, इन्वेस्टिगेशन ऑन है. जाहिर तौर पे इन कंपनियों के जो मैनेजमेंट है उन्हें बुलाने की भी तैयारी है. जी
ओके, अमित जी, आप ये भी बता सकते हैं अभी जो केस हुआ है जमायत की तरफ से, उनका क्या कहना है सर?
जमायत का कहना है कि उन्हें टारगेट किया जा रहा है और वो एक्सपोर्ट्स भी करते हैं और कुछ ऐसे देश होते हैं जैसे कतर वगैरह, वहाँ जो है एक्सपोर्ट करने के लिए वहाँ हलाल सर्टिफिकेशन बहुत आवश्यक है. और इस वजह से अब वो कोर्ट मूव करने की बात कर रहे हैं. बहरहाल जब कोर्ट वो मूव करेंगे तो जाहिर तौर पे यूपी गवर्नमेंट भी वहाँ कोर्ट में अपना जवाब दायर करेगी और यूपी गवर्नमेंट भी वहाँ पर अपना पक्ष रखेगी. उसके बाद देखना होगा हियरिंग के बाद कि कोर्ट का क्या रुख होता है. क्योंकि जब मैं बीजेपी के नेताओं से बात कर रहा हूं और सरकार की इस पूरे क्रैकडाउन पे जब बात करता हूं तो उनका साफ साफ ये कहना है कि देश की पॉपुलेशन है उसमें 80% जो जनसंख्या है वो सनातन धर्म को मानती है और ऐसे में सनातनियों को हलाल सर्टिफाइड कुछ नहीं चाहिए. जी.
Okay, all right, Amit ji, thank you for bringing us those details. Let's walk you very quickly through what opposition parties in the state are saying, how the state government is attempting to defend this move. Number one, opposition saying that this is a bid to incite. They're also saying you're looking to divide a state that has a large Muslim population by introducing something like this. They're arguing it's entirely unnecessary, especially when the export industry is still legally allowed. So a 15,000 crore export industry still stands unaffected by this. They're saying it should also be brought under this jurisdiction too if it is indeed such a problem. The state government over here arguing that this is in public defense. They're saying that the category of halal has been too far spread out to cover things like milk, things like tea, and that halal shouldn't be used to cover that. Let's move on. The next attack that's come in from the opposition, so these are parties like the Samajwadi Party, parties like the Congress that form the opposition in the state of Uttar Pradesh. They're saying that this is a move, as we've already told you, to target one community. About 20% of Uttar Pradesh belongs to this identity. They largely consume halal meats. Halal, remember, is the process through which meat is procured. It's one that fulfills and listens to Islamic practices. Now, the state government is defending this. They're saying that this is only a ban on illegal certification. It's not a ban on all certification. Let's move on. So this is the opposition and the state government, what they have to say. We're going to bring you more context on this story in just a second. Let's take a look at reactions.
इस्लामी धर्मशास्त्र में जिन चीजों को हराम बताया गया है उन्हें करने की मनाही होती है, वहीं हलाल जो चीजें हैं वो करने की इजाजत होती है. आमतौर पर अगर आप सीधे भाषा में ये कहें तो हलाल खाने पीने की चीजों और जानवरों की वध प्रक्रिया पर लागू होता है. हलाल सर्टिफाइड का सीधा मतलब है कि वो प्रोडक्ट इस्लामी मान्यताओं के अनुसार बनाया गया है और आमतौर पर हम कई प्रोडक्ट्स में हलाल सर्टिफाइड स्टाम्प देखते हैं। सवाल ये खड़ा हो रहा है कि आखिर ऐसी ट्रस्ट कैसे किसी चीज को सर्टिफाइड कर सकती है, जबकि भारत सरकार या राज्य सरकारों ने हलाल को अपने तौर पर मान्यता नहीं दी है। अब हजरतगंज लखनऊ में FIR दर्ज हो गई है। ऐसे में बड़े सवाल उठ रहे हैं कि आखिर कैसे सर्टिफिकेशन का बड़ा धंधा अब तक चल रहा था और आखिर अब तक किसी ने इस पर गौर क्यों नहीं फरमाया।
देखिए, आज मैं इको गार्डन धरनास्थल पर आया हूँ। 69,000 शिक्षकों की भर्ती में 6800 ऐसे अभ्यर्थी जो चयनित होने के बावजूद भी अपनी नियुक्ति पत्र आज तक नहीं पाए। ऐसे अधिकारियों की गलती से जिनको आज धरना बैठना पड़ा, अगर योगी जी इतने संवेदनशील हैं तो पहले उनके खिलाफ FIR दर्ज करावें, उनको दंडित करें। ये हलाला कह करके केवल हिंदू मुसलमानों में नफरत का बीज बोकर अपनी चुनावी बेतरनी पार करने के लिए जो गंदा खेल खेल रहे हैं, इससे इनको बचना चाहिए। हलाला करके आज देश की जनता की आंख में धूल झोंकने का जो ड्रामा है वो बंद होना चाहिए। और साथ ही साथ आज सभी मुद्दों पर सरकार पिट गई है।
ये सरकार के पास अब कोई एजेंडा नहीं है। ध्यान को डाइवर्ट करने के लिए हलाल हराम की जो बातें आ रही हैं, ये बिला वजह बातें हैं।
सौभाग्य की बात है कि उत्तर प्रदेश के यशस्वी मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ जी महाराज की सरकार ने इस हलाल प्रोडक्ट सर्टिफिकेट बांटने वाले के ऊपर FIR दर्ज किया है और 3 संस्थानों को बैन किया है। ऐसा कार्य पूरे देश में होना चाहिए। मैं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से निवेदन करूंगा, माननीय गृह मंत्री जी से निवेदन करूंगा, यह पूरे देश में लागू होना चाहिए।
अब ये उनकी दृष्टि है और ये लोग इस प्रकार के कृत्य करके वोट बैंक के रूप में सारे एंगल से देखते रहेंगे। हमारी सरकार जनता के लिए, नागरिकों के हित में जो भी कदम उठाए जा सकते हैं, उनके सारे विषयों को ध्यान में रखते हुए हमारी सरकार कदम उठा रही है और इसमें इस तरह के निर्णय को कोई राजनीतिक दृष्टि से देखना उचित नहीं।
Okay, as we were telling you a little while earlier, what has the key opposition on this story been? As we've been telling you, various organizations have come forward and made a few arguments. Argument number one, they've argued that export processes also should be stopped if this is going to happen. They've said that the export industry is 15,000 crore large in Uttar Pradesh itself. Uttar Pradesh is the hub of much meat, for example, being exported outside of the state. Their argument has been, why isn't there a shutdown that is total if this is indeed a problem? That's argument number one. Argument number two that has come in is that this is the community is being targeted. This is an argument that we've seen, as we just told you, the Jamaat put forth. Number one, you've also had the Samajwadi Party make this argument since this announcement was formally made, that it is one community that is being targeted with all of these moves. Now, we're going to bring you more context on how this story plays out and how the Yogi government plans to take this forward in the next few days. As we told you, this announcement was made just a few hours ago formally. However, this was reportedly in the works for a few days now. It is important to point out. Now, the political opposition to this has grown over the last few minutes, and we've shown you different reactions that have come in to this story. But it's important to understand, all right, we'll connect with the reporter again and again to bring you more details. As we were showing you earlier, visuals coming in of a raid taking place as we speak in Sahara Mall. Right now, we're going to move on. This was a story in Uttar Pradesh. Let's take you down south to Karnataka. Our next story, as we're telling you, playing out in Karnataka. These are visuals coming in. A young 23-year-old woman and her child walking on a very, very busy intersection in Whitefields in Bengaluru when they walked on a wire that led to their death. This was them stepping on a live wire. Wires, as you may already be aware if you're a resident of the Bengaluru region, are often on the ground. Fiber optic cables usually. This was a case where you had an electric wire that was on the ground left open. Now, let's talk very quickly about government action since. The government has suspended 5 officials. They've announced 5 lakh rupees for family members of the 23-year-old woman. But obviously, her family remains deeply, deeply in despair. This is a formal reaction coming in. First, let's take a look at what the victim's mother had to say.
वो ನಾನ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇದ್ದ ಅವಳು ಕಿರ್ಚಕ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಲು. ಯಾಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಗಲಾಟೆನೆ, ಮಾಳಿನಿಗೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ತಮಿಳ್ ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಭಾಷೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಾರೆ, ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಗಲಾಟೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಮ್ಮ ಕಾಪಾಡು ಕಾಪಾಡು ನಿನ್ ಮೊಮ್ಮಗಳನ್ನ ಕಾಪಾಡು ಅಮ್ಮ ಅಂದ್ಲು. ನಮ್ಮನೆಗೂ ಬಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ಗೂ 2 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ದೂರ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ನಾನ್ ರೋಡ್ಗೂ ಬಂದಿ ಯಾವನೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದಿ ಓಪರಂ ಇಳಗಿದೆ. ನಾನು ಓಪರಂ ಇಳಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಮಗುನ ಕಾಪಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ವಿಲಿ ವಿಲಿ ಅಂತ ಒದ್ದಾಡಿ ನನ್ನ ಅಮ್ಮ ನನ್ನ ಕಣ್ಣು ಮುಂದೆನೆ ನನ್ನ ಕೂಸು ಸಮೇತ ನನ್ನ ಕಣ್ಣು ಮುಂದೆ ಸತ್ತೋದ್ಲಪ್ಪ.
ಆಗಿ 1997 ಆಗಿದೆ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಸೊ ಸುಮಾರು ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಒಂದು 26 ಸೊ ಏಜಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ನು ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಆ ಥರ ಲೈನ್ ಇದ್ದದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕನ್ವರ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಆ ಸರ್ಕಲ್ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅಂಡರ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ BBMP ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ. ಅವರು ಸರಿಯಾದ ಒಂದು ಇದನ್ನು ತೋರಿಸಲಿ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ 4-5 ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. BBMP ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಅವರು ರೂಟ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಕನ್ವರ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಕೇಬಲ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಹಾಕಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ.
A big update coming in as we speak from Uttarkashi. Take a look at the visuals on your screen right now. Those visuals that we're bringing you are food being sent through the pipeline to workers. This is a pipeline that's just been successfully installed. Remember, till now, it's important to point out, you had murmur, you had chana, so small packets of food, but compressed food that was being sent down to the workers. The concern had been over the last 9 days, proper nutrition not reaching the workers who are trapped right now in the tunnel. Now, let's go over to my colleague Anshul. Anshul, let me just tell you the visuals that we're seeing right now. We can see the tunnel, the entrance of the tunnel, and we can see workers standing on top of a part of the rubble. But can you explain to us what we're supposed to be looking at here?
These visuals have been exclusively accessed by CNN News 18. It clearly shows that how this entire operation was ongoing and how much work was put into actually drill this pipe inside through the debris so that food can finally reach the people who are stuck inside. Now, finally, the food is being started to be sent inside through these pipelines, and we can expect that finally the workers will have access to some solid food after 9 days. In the visuals, you can clearly see that how this entire drilling operation and what were the challenges that were coming to the fore. In the next few minutes, it is expected that finally the food will reach inside, and not only the food, but in the next few minutes, the optical fiber cable as well as the endoscopic like camera machine would also be sent inside, post which we can get to see the first visuals of these workers who are stuck inside the tunnel for the past 9 days. Now, this is the biggest success that the rescuers has had over the last 9 days, and this has given a glimmer of hope not only to the people who are stuck inside, but definitely has motivated the people who are outside and carrying out this rescue operation relentlessly. So yes, this is a big development that is coming to the fore, and the visuals that we have access clearly shows that how difficult was this terrain and how the people have actually managed to send in food finally after 9 days.
Anshul, as you've been telling us, the big challenge so far has also been one of communication. What you've told us so far is that the pipe through which workers were communicating so far, so over the last 9 days, was one through which communication was quite difficult. Right now, as you're telling us, with more instruments being put through that pipeline, communication will possibly get much, much better. Can you tell us more about that?
So yes, that was a very big concern, because remember, the only way to communicate through the workers who are stuck inside was through that pipe through which air was being blown in, and it was a hollow pipe, and the kind of communication that was happening, that was also not very clear, because from the hollow end of the pipe you say something that will eventually travel through the pipe and reach the sound waves will travel and reach on the other end, and hence if any untoward situation might have happened inside the tunnel at that point in time which could have damaged this pipe, then the only source of communication would have been damaged. Now, to make sure that the entire operation remains weatherproof, this optical cable fiber will be laid inside this entire pipe, which would eventually mean that the communication that would be established would be confirmed and would be without any lag or any detail, and will be weatherproof. Once the communication is established in such a manner, definitely it will it is going to help a lot the people who are outside to get to know about the situation inside, and the people who are inside to get to know how quickly is the work being done at this point in time, how quickly the entire machinery is now working day and night in tandem to make sure that all these people are taken out. So yes, despite that has been drilled through, the visuals that we have access actually tell the entire story of how crucial this entire piece of news is, and how crucial was this lifeline pipe that has finally been dug through. And now we can expect that the American auger machine will finally start working within the next few hours. Remember, 22 meters of tunnel has already been dug in through that American auger pipe, and over the next few hours, if at all everything remains under absolute control, then we can expect that this entire operation might come to an end within the next 36 to 48 hours. But that all depends on what is the condition of the debris inside. Yes, the rescuers are hopeful that there was a big rock that had come in front of them. They have been able to navigate that. If at all those rocks are not present further inside the tunnel, further inside the debris, then we can expect this operation could happen at a very, very quick pace. But if at all there are more debris or there are more big rocks that are present inside, it can yet again raise.
We'll check in on the situation again and again with you. Don't leave us. We will check in with you again. We're heading into a short break. In just a few minutes, we'll return with more of the country's top stories, including continuing to track this situation.
That is to make sure that there is no further debris that is falling on that particular place where the workers are trapped, as well as to block the entry of the tunnel, which is now available for the rescue teams where they are trying to maneuver through. These are the updates that we are getting right now. This is the situation in Uttarkashi right now, and that we are bringing to you, and we are constantly bringing you all the visuals from the area. Our reporter Anshul Singh is there at this point to bring us more details from there. But before that, we will look at some of these more political reactions that have come in. Let's have a look.
इस आपदा का मुकाबला हम सब लोग सब प्रकार के प्रयासों से कर रहे हैं। जो अंदर में जो लोग बैठे हुए हैं, जो अटके हुए हैं, उनके प्रति भारत सरकार को, उत्तराखंड की सरकार को और देश की जनता को उनकी सबकी बहुत चिंता है, और हमारी सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता है कि किसी भी प्रकार से उनकी जान बचाए, उनको बाहर निकाले। भारत सरकार की अलग अलग एजेंसीज है जिनको जिम्मेदारी दी गई है, टीमों से भी विशेष रूप से यहाँ ध्यान दिया जा रहा है।
Well, that was Union Minister Nitin Gadkari, who was giving the updates on the situation prevailing there right now. But we also have Anshul Singh, as we were just mentioning, who is reporting live from there. Anshul, coming to you, give us the updates for the day. What does the day look like with regards to the rescue operations?
So yes, the rescue operations have finally resumed. In fact, I'll just try and move out of the frame and try and show you the visuals on the ground that the American auger machine, which was present over here for the last 2 days, that has finally been taken in, and that assembly process is ongoing at this point in time. Also, 39 meters of food lifeline pipe has been drilled through the debris, and only approximately 20 meters of length is left, before which we can expect that that finally solid food can be given to all the people who are present over here. Also, the border road organization that has been roped in has actually made the road all over to the top of this tunnel, from where the vertical drilling will start in just 24 hours. And from today, we expect that the vertical drilling process will also start, as heavy machineries have started to reach here from Dehradun and other parts of the country as well. Not only this, but from the right and the left hand side, the horizontal drilling process has also started. But remember, it is a very, very long haul to drill through any of these routes, because vertically it actually needs to be drilled through at least 90 meters, whereas horizontally from the left hand side the length is actually 170 meters, and from the right hand side the length is more than 200 meters. So the easiest way that through which the rescuers can reach the people who are stranded inside is the visuals that you are seeing on your screens right now. This is the easiest way through which they can get in, which is actually drilling through the debris that has gathered over here and through the American auger machine. Now remember, there were technical snags that had developed in that machine. Also, the kind of vibrations that machine was giving, that meant that the entire structure inside the tunnel was also shaking and more debris was falling down. So the structuring of the tunnel is being done. If I could show you in the visuals, these blocks, these cement blocks that you are seeing on your screens right now, these blocks have specially been called in, and they are being put into structure right above the pipe, so that the debris that might fall, that shouldn't fall on the pipe or on the workers who are working inside in this rescue operation, because the focus of the rescuers is not only to save the people who are trapped inside, but also to make sure that a safety environment is made for people who are working relentlessly in this rescue operation. But remember, it has been more than 9 days now. Today is the 9th day and counting hours that we are seeing that this rescue operation is continuously going on. Still, these people has had no access to any sort of solid food, and hence these pipes that are being dug in, these pipes are going to be are being called lifeline pipes, because through these pipes not only solid food that will be provided to them, but also the micro drone that has been called in from the DRDO, that would also go in from the same pipe, which would eventually mean that the first visual contact will be made with all the 40 workers who are stuck inside, and also optical fiber cables would also be drilled in through the same pipe as well. So it will eventually mean that better communication is also established, because remember, it is a very, very long haul. The machine, the American auger machine, even if it's worked to its full strength from today, that is 8 a.m. in the morning, then also it is going to take at least 24 to 36 hours for the drilling machine to get back over here. But yes, when will that machine start? That is still a big question mark, and hence we are seeing these arrangements that are being made just to make sure that the people who are inside, they are provided with food so that they can survive for a longer time.
Well, 41 workers are still trapped even after 9 days in the Uttarkashi tunnel, and drilling to prepare an escape passage for the 41 workers who are trapped there at the moment at the Silkyara tunnel collapse site for a week remained suspended. Now, the larger diameter pipes have been inserted through the debris to provide food and other essentials to the trapped workers. Union Minister Nitin Gadkari reviewed the rescue operations at the site and said that whatever is required to save the 41 trapped workers will be done, and keeping the morale of the workers and their family members high should be everyone's collective responsibility and priority right now. Well, 5-option action plan will also be adopted to rescue the trapped workers, is what we are gathering for now. And it's a coordinated operation that's being taken place between all the agencies that have gathered there. And what we have been consistently seeing is there have been several measures that have been taken, several kinds of machines have been brought in. The major one that was brought in was the American auger that was trying to drill in another pathway through the tunnel to bring out the 41 trapped workers in there. But there have been, given the kind of place this tunnel is situated in, that is the geographical location of this tunnel has indeed been has made it quite difficult for the agencies to maneuver in that area and to make sure that further debris don't fall on that particular area, so that they don't block the pathway further. Because right now, remember that the people who are struck
Welcome back. This is The Nation at 5. We're taking you very quickly from stories playing out in India now to a story playing out in the United States. This is a story related to Vivek Ramaswamy, the Republican nominee, presidential nominee running in the United States. Now, very interesting comments that Ramaswamy has actually made in an interview. He's made 2 sets of comments we're actually going to be focusing on right here on the show. The first, he said that it's his Hindu faith that gave him the faith to run for president. But secondly, the other statement he's also made is he said, can I be a president who can promote Christianity around the country? I can't. I don't think what we should want a US president to do either. So Ramaswamy appealing to the secular nation, the secular nature of the nation there. Let's go over very quickly to my colleague Siddhant to understand more on this story. Siddhant, just to give our audiences an idea of why this statement is different and is particularly interesting. Ramaswamy is hoping to run for the Republican Party in the United States, and right now 99% of Republicans in the US Congress identify as Christian. So Ramaswamy putting out this statement, sticking to his guns there, that's particularly interesting in that context. Siddhant, bring us more details.
Well, yes, that's right. Look, Vivek Ramaswamy has his own pitch when it comes to the presidential elections, and perhaps since the very beginning, he has always been very vocal and very vocal and identifies himself as a Hindu, as a Tamilian, and in fact, at various occasions, we have those interactions of Mr. Ramaswamy in the regional Tamil dialect. Now, this particular statement has been made by him, and perhaps he is somewhere trying to draw parallels between Hinduism and Christianity. And he also is trying to make people of America understand, as you rightly said, that a lot of people in the House also identify themselves as Christian. So he is perhaps trying to draw a parallel that the way Christianity is a free religion, it gives a freedom to express, it gives freedom, and perhaps is an open-minded religion. The same way Mr. Ramaswamy is pitching Hinduism and Hindu religion, that the same way Hindu religion also believes in open-minded discussions and allows freedom. So that is how Mr. Ramaswamy is trying to draw a parallel. In fact, he also spoke about how he got his...
Okay, what that will mean for Ramaswamy's chances, because remember, his popularity in the Republican Party is what matters for him securing that presidential bid. We'll continue to track this story. For now, that's all that we have for you here at The Nation at 5. Thank you for staying with us over the last 1 hour. Next, my colleague Poonam at 6. Take a look.
Good evening, hello and welcome. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Poonam Burde. Over the weekend, when all of India was discussing cricket in Uttar Pradesh, there was hangama of another kind that was brewing. The Yogi Adityanath government banned items with halal certification in the state with immediate effect. Meat, certain medicines and certain cosmetics are exempt, as are exports. But this ban comes after Lucknow police cracked down against a few